Hi, Christopher.
Hi, Agata.
I would like to talk to you about directed buy suppliers. So these suppliers, which are given to us to, for instance, we are a tier one supplier, and the customer OEM is actually pointing at certain suppliers with whom we should work in our supply chain. Let's discuss about your experiences with such a kind of the cooperation selection of the suppliers.
Yeah, so in all of my experience working in automotive quality and manufacturing, there's always situations where suppliers are mandated or required to purchase from specific tier end suppliers. They could be a tier two typically in that supply chain. And there's various reasons for this. One could be down to the quality of the product. So, for example, LEDs, if you use an LED in a headlamp and you want to make sure that you can secure the right quality of a batch, instead of batch to batch variation, you want to have the lights to be matching on the front of the car and so on. There might be situations where we do that because we need to have the quality level and we need to have the design, statutory, and regulatory requirements. So you have to specify that to supplier. Otherwise, some suppliers will pick any LED and it might not meet the regulatory requirement because they've selected it randomly. So hopefully we don't you don't select suppliers that do that, but that's the level of control and information, as we've touched upon in previous videos, the information of cascading down the why do we need to use certain supplier information. um, I've seen them in tier systems or level systems where um, we would say to the supplier as the OEM or as charge, we would say, I want you to buy the supplier specifically. This is the supplier. These are the contacts. Here's the kickoff meeting. Work together. You're responsible for PPAP. You're responsible for QMS. You're responsible for all of these things. All you need to do is buy from them. And if there's non-conformances, you need to manage supplier to supplier. The next level to that, typically that I've seen, would be where the supplier is not responsible for PPAP. They will not manage the supplier. They will not approve the tier two to them. As a directed buy, they would be a tier two or tier three. Um, and they will only manage the quality management, meaning incoming goods, or if they have a non-conformance, or if they have an issue, they will manage and they will give a non-conformance to the supplier. Maybe they'll use a PPM calculation, whatever. They'll demand 8Ds and pass them on to us as a customer. The final one is where we typically would see a supplier where they do not have responsibility whatsoever, and all they need to do is purchase, and they only have a purchasing contact or a logistics contact, and they just get deliveries. They're not responsible for the quality. They're not responsible for any of that or reporting. If they find an issue, they will tell us as charge, and then we will directly speak to the directed buy, and we will say, here's an issue. What are you doing about it? And so on. We will investigate. My preference is always preference one, not preference the three, the latter. The reason being is that the suppliers that can then maintain a healthy relationship and continuous improvement is resolved at that level. As you can imagine, resources finite at all levels within the supply chain, even to the OEM. And it's usually suppliers will have a day-to-day team that will manage suppliers in general anyway. One extra supplier to their process may be part of their normal quality management system. Whereas for us to investigate may take more time to understand where the issues arise. Problems can happen where it's come from the supplier directly. It could be logistics, or it could have been the actual tier one supplier that's managed to damage a part or make it defective. So the investigation time can be much longer if we as a customer is involved. Plus, we need to get access to both sites and so on. So as you can imagine, that takes further time.
Mhm.
One topic I'd like to raise, which is not necessarily directed by, but is free issue. Free issue is like the fourth version of that, which basically means that we buy the component as a manufacturer and we send it to the supplier. And in most cases, the supplier is not responsible whatsoever for that product. We would PPAP it, we would validate it, we would go to the supplier's factories and so on to do the PPAP validation and the run at rate trials and so on. And we wouldn't even give the supplier necessarily a copy of the PSW cover sheet. We would keep the cover sheet. It depends on their own approval process, what they've done in terms of their quality management system. Have they restricted themselves to the point where they need a copy of that PPAP for IATF requirements and so on? Even though we've said IATF doesn't require it, as a supplier, you can box yourself in depending on your procedures. So you need to be careful what your procedures say. In some cases, you might not ever be able to get a PSW cover sheet from me as a customer or someone else, a bigger OEM, because of our own confidentiality requirements, or if that supplier is a competitor, for example. So mainly ones where they're free issued is typically because it's a competitor or because of price and quality levels. That's why they would be free issued. Or the level 3 version of directed buy could be because it's a direct competitor. That might be why.
Mhm. I purposely said that this is difficult, kind of the cooperation with the supplier, which was pointed by our customers, directed by, because everything is fine when there is no issues. Yes.
Yes,
However,
that's
later
true.
there is a problem with the responsibilities, and ITF is saying very straight, yes, almost one sentence, yes, we have to follow all the requirements for the supplier management, like for all the suppliers which were not selected by our customer. Yes, of course, only selection is taken out from our shoulders because someone picked up certain supplier from for us. Yes. So I think now I would like to invite you for another episode. Let's talk about the CSRs, but I'm not talking about customer specific requirements, but I'm talking about corporate social responsibility in terms of working with the supply chain. Thank you.